In today's news, Premier Fahie raises concern to JMC regarding the constitutional relationship. And today we are live with Mr. Jahleel Cameron, of course, a young man who's doing incredible things in the community. This weekend he has a flea sale, so we'll be speaking to him.
Most definitely. Also, in today's top headlines, the Wellness Center Behavioral Clinic administers first Autism Spectrum Disorder testing in the territory and across the region. Bahamas extends their state of emergency until the end of January. All these and so much more when 284 News returns.
The win! Oh!
Twitter the hell
I'm freaking out!
Is time.
284 News.
Coming to you live and direct from the beautiful British Virgin Islands.
What's poppin', what's really good, what's happening, what's up?
Davis has won it for the Lakers!
Viewers, welcome to 284 News. It is Friday. Actually, Friday, November 27th, 2020. My name is Javon Wilson.
And I am Kyla Kenesha Forbes. It is always our pleasure to come to you live straight out of the British Virgin Islands, of course, to bring you your local, regional, and international content.
Absolutely, viewers. In our headlines today, of course, it is Black Friday, not only here in the BVI, but also across the world. Many of our local businesses have been extending quite a number of specials, Kyla, as you'll be seeing soon enough on the screen, those videos. We took some time out to visit some of our premier brands in the BVI. Here we're at iSmart, which of course is known for their electronics, phones, and so on. Massive savings. Then we head over to RTW. Now RTW rolls out a hefty Black Friday sale every single year, and I think this year so much to be given away. And as you can see on this video, we're at Vanity Scents, of course, your premier stop for all things perfumes and colognes, of course, getting all your scents just in time for the season for your loved ones. It's actually their 1-year anniversary as well over there at Vanity Scents. So lots going on in the BVI, and I know it's been a tough year for our businesses, particularly Kyla. So it's I'm very happy to see us being able to cash in on those amazing deals, of course, a benefit both to the business as well as the consumer.
I'm very happy. As you said, it's been a very difficult year, but to see our business community still coming out there and giving savings to their customers and to the community is definitely heartwarming. It is the holidays, and we're definitely happy to see all of it.
Everybody loves a good save.
Of course.
We love
now, before we get into our newscast, we do want to highlight local talent right here in the British Virgin Islands. Of course, viewers, if you know the restaurant Lady Sarah's, this is their mural on the wall, literally inside of the restaurant. And the young man sitting and standing right next to that mural, he actually painted it. His name is Mr. Walden Benjamin. So we definitely wanted to highlight this young talent right here in the British Virgin Islands. I think it's just so beautiful. All the images in this mural are just so realistic and just so great to see. So we definitely want to congratulate Mr. Benjamin and just highlight him for that great work.
And you know what I love at Lady Sarah is the fact that, first of all, it's such an organic feel. So when you walk into the establishment, it's really an experience.
It really
it's
is.
not just food, but really a full experience. And I love that they continue to recruit local talent. When you look around, I mean, everything in there says, it screams, literally screams BVI. So very happy to see, and of course, congratulations to that very talented young man. Viewers, we're going to head straight into our newscast for today. Now, yesterday, the Premier of the Virgin Islands and Minister of Finance, Honorable Andrew A. Fahie, raised some concerns during the Overseas Territories Joint Minister Council, JMC, of course, the meeting regarding the language of the communique relating to a section on the constitutional relationship. Now, in making his final intervention during the JMC, Premier Fahie said, and I quote, "I am aware that the OTs, or the Overseas Territories, and Foreign and Commonwealth Development Office officials have been working tirelessly to reach joint agreement on this year's communique. We agree that the language needs enhancement to reflect our agreement or policy or intention. My government had envisioned that in good faith, outlining shared principles, managing competing interests, and building consensus would ensure continued cooperation. Yet, despite the hard work of officials on all sides, we have been unable to reach agreement. Now, throughout this process, my government has provided workable alternatives in the hope of achieving mutually agreeable positions. The BVI's position remains unchanged. We cannot agree with the current language of the communique relating to the constitutional relationship. BVI would like to openly declare a reserved position regarding the constitutional relationship language. Our submissions to amend the wording in this area of the communique were based on the UK's commitments to the OTs as outlined in the White Paper of 2012 and in Article 73 of the United Nations Charter. My government is of the view that the constitutional relationship between the OTs and the UK must be allowed to evolve as the territories mature. Each OT has changed their constitutional relationship with the UK based on their needs and circumstances over the past decades, thus illustrating that each territory's constitution as a living document. Now, the UK being a signatory to the UN Charter, specifically Article 73, commits the UK to help territories whose people have not yet attained a full measure of self-government to work with us to develop the political aspirations of the people of the territory. The Virgin Islands encourages constructive and productive engagement, whereby the UK listens, responds, and actively works with territories to find practicable solutions, in order to advance the will of the people. These are very uncertain times, and I hope that the people and the government of the UK and OTs will successfully get through the COVID-19 crisis and handle any fallout from Brexit. The BVI will certainly be helpful where possible." Now, that was quite a mouthful from our Premier of the Virgin Islands, Honorable Andrew Fahie, in his contributions at this meeting, viewers. Now, in speaking with the Government Information Services, the Premier said that even though the constitutional relationship section was in the end removed, all OTs did not agree that the entire section should be removed, as the UK was not supportive of a reservation being entered on any aspect of the communique. Premier Fahie has been leading a delegation to the annual Overseas Territories Joint Ministerial Council from November 23rd to 26th. The JMC meeting concluded yesterday, viewers, and of course, this year's JMC meeting was held virtually in light of the restrictions due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. Kyla, our Premier of the Virgin Islands, Premier Andrew A. Fahie, of course, in our relationship with the United Kingdom, continued to forge some type of reform as it relates to our relationship. We do know in every step of the way, the government of the day has made sure they are committed to us becoming more self-governing as a territory. Yes. And it's very important, even with the Development and Recovery Agency, RDA, coming into government, one of the things the Premier quickly realized is the language within that agency, and of course, between the agreement, needed fine-tuning. There were some knots to be ironed out. And it's all with on the premise that the BVI should be able to secure opportunities and be safe within its decisions, even though we are being governed by the United Kingdom. So I'm very happy to see the Premier standing up essentially for the territory and saying we want to continue to have a great relationship, but it also must be on our terms as well.
As you said, Javon, from the very beginning, this government has been pushing for the BVI to continue being self-governing and continuing to evolve even more so towards some persons may say closer to independence, and we see this even so going forward from our premiere.
Absolutely.
Now, as we move forward, now in the month of November, the Wellness Center Behavioral Clinic administered the first independent psychological intake, testing, and diagnosis of Autism Spectrum Disorder. This is actually ASD here in the territory. Now, this was a significant milestone for the Wellness Center as well as the entire territory. Now, in 2019, the Wellness Center, in collaboration with the McLean Foundation based in Palo Alto, California, and the Ministry of Education here in the BVI, assessed over 35 children in the territory for ASD. Now, approximately 2 years later, the Wellness Center now has the capabilities to independently assist a child for ASD. Now, child psychologist at the Wellness Center, Miss Jane Maher, specialized in assessment of ASD, amongst other child-specific issues, and provides a range of therapeutic interventions. Dr. Michael A. Turnbull, director of the Wellness Center, expressed his sentiments towards this notable milestone. Dr. Turnbull said, and I quote, "Being able to diagnose autism here locally can help families that may not have the ability to travel or pay high out-of-pocket fees find answers and be treated locally. It is a significant privilege to be able to offer ethical and efficient assessments using gold standard psychological assessment tools," end quote. The ASD assessment is funded in collaboration with the National Health Insurance Agency, which we know as NHI. Now, the Wellness Center Behavioral Health Clinic continues to offer psychological testing and therapy for both children and adults here in the territory, having now expanded its range of services to include assessments and therapy for ASD. Now, Javon, I need the viewers to understand how important this really is. I think in the BVI, we more than ever, we are now understanding the importance of mental health right here in the territory. And I think although some parents and some families may want to assess their child for autism, not having the money and the accessibility to these services might delay or just disrupt that altogether. But now we see where the Wellness Center is able to give this service to families. So I think essentially this just gives hope to our territory in general, and we do want to stress the fact that in collaboration with NHI, that this assessment can be funded.
All right, so viewers, head on over to the Wellness Center, the Behavioral Clinic, of course, catering to all things mental health. And I love the fact that they specialize in assisting children, because the earlier we are able to identify these type of issues within the territory, the quicker we'll be able to deal with it. So viewers, we're going to go to a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we're actually speaking to Mr. Jahleel Cameron. Of course, this is a young man in the community who is very well known for his philanthropic efforts. But this weekend, a very special event, and of course, you don't want to miss it. So all that and so much more when 284 News returns.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There the answer comes.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
Viewers, welcome back to 284 News. Now, at 284 Media, one of the things we really take pride in is celebrating young people who are out there in the community doing amazing things. Today, it gives me great honor to welcome for the very first time to 284 Media a young man whose philanthropic efforts have reached every corner of the BVI when we think about all the amazing things that he has done and continues to do. So, Mr. Jahleel Cameron, welcome to 284 Media.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
You are so welcome. So, I mean, I know so much about your brand. Our team here is so very proud of you. But for those who may not know you, just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, thank you. I'd just like to start off by, I always watch you guys on YouTube, and you guys always say such great things about me. So thank you
You're welcome.
for the support from 284. And
Absolutely.
for people that don't know me, I started off my philanthropic efforts when I was about 9. I started having a series of seizures, and I went to our local People's Hospital to look for treatment, but they had no idea what was wrong with me because they did not have the necessary apparatus to diagnose me. So I had to go away to Miami, where I was put on something called an EEG machine, an electroencephalogram. And when I came back, me and my grandmother decided that, it wasn't right for me to have to go away to seek treatment. So we, put together a team and started selling water every Saturday and Sunday at my church and at Scotiabank. And, we did that for a while. And once we came up with the money, we bought the machine for the hospital, and that's what I'm most known for. But, we continue to help out at the Rainbow Home by buying the kids school supplies and Christmas gifts. And, we're really just here to help anyone in need.
You know what I love about you, and of course the foundation that you have launched, the Jahleel Foundation, is the fact that your efforts have extended even beyond the BVI. When devastated Hurricane Dorian hit the Bahamas, you also stepped in and said, listen, I want to do something to assist children in the Bahamas. So tell us about that experience.
That project to me, it was really a no-brainer, because, we had just gone through something that, I wasn't there during Hurricane Dorian, so I don't know which one was more catastrophic, but that hit really close to home for me. And when I would, watch the news and see, these people that were out of homes and out of, food and just were in a bad state, I said, we have to help because, it's a lot easier for humans to have sympathy than empathy. Absolutely. So we were in that situation, so it was really a no-brainer for me and my team to want to jump in and help.
All right, so this weekend we have a very special event, and viewers, trust me, you want to be a part of this. But even before I get to that, I want to recognize a medal that you have, actually, that you're wearing right now. And of course, it is Rotary's highest honor that is bestowed to humanitarians across the region. But you, Jahleel, are the youngest recipient. I mean, that is an incredible honor. So tell us, how do you feel about that and what this medal represents to you?
I was very honored when the Rotary Club of Sunrise bestowed this medal upon me. I was really out of words, and I just learning that I was at such a young age where people don't normally get these kind of honors. I was just glad that they were recognizing me, and I was so thankful to them.
And it's a beautiful medal. I mean, you could raise it up just a little bit to show it to our viewers. And of course, an incredible honor because, Jahleel, you may not realize it, but persons really are inspired by all of your efforts. And so I don't think that was a hard decision to be made by Rotary at all. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Now, your latest effort, of course, a flea market sale is going to be happening tomorrow. Just go ahead, invite our viewers, tell us all about it, and of course, invite persons to come out and be a part of it.
Yes, so we will be in front of my school tomorrow from 7 o'clock in the morning until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. People have given us a lot of items and clothes to, resell that still have purpose to anyone who has a means to buy them. The real reason why me and my grandmother had this idea was because, people have gone through so much during this this Corona time and, have been out of jobs and, lost a lot of money and are struggling a lot to make ends meet. So we don't think that it's right to just sit by and watch people suffer, especially during the holidays. So we said, let's put together and people, the support has been tremendous. People have brought a lot of clothes that they didn't have to do. So I really, want to thank whoever donated their clothes and, whatever items that you brought. So thank you so much. And I want them to know that it's going to go to a good cause and that we're going to try our best to make sure, everyone is happy and can, eat during this Christmas time. So thank you to everyone who donated.
Absolutely, Jahleel. I know we're out of time, but quickly before you go, it warms my heart to hear you mention your grandmother so many times. Speak to us about your grandmother in closing off, and what do you want to say to other young people who might want to reach out and assist the community? I think wider BVI in general, what do you want to say to person as it relates to volunteering and giving back to the community, especially in these times?
I'll start off by talking about my grandmother. I really feel like I would be doing myself a disservice if I didn't, come here, and because I'll be honest with myself, I don't think that I would be here without my grandmother. She has always, pushed me to, be the best I can be and, find my way of contributing to the world. And if that way is to, help people, I'm glad that she is gonna see me through that process. And I am very thankful to it for always recognizing me. But please, when you recognize me, please recognize my team, because I really can't do it on my own. So the lady, my adopted grandmother Astrid, who is here with me,
yes,
is another just trailblazer in my life that has taught me to recognize my potential and always when things get hard, go harder. So and to anyone that wants to just give back, you don't have to start off big. Just start off by doing something small.
Yes.
If you see someone who might be a vagrant on the street, buy them a plate of food, and you should feel great about what you have done in that day. So that's what I'll say about that.
Well, we are so proud of you, and we want to continue to encourage you to do great things in the community, and of course, continue to be in high spirits. We appreciate you. We're big fans of you here at 284 Media and Beyond. So we want to say thank you, and thank you so much for making the time to speak with us.
All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Kyla, talk about a young man that is really making waves in the community. When you think about Jahleel at a tender age, at 10 years old, recognizing that there was a need in the community. Of course, he was there, as he said, for a specific service. He recognized easily that he could not have received the medical assistance that he had needed at the time, and was inspired to do a fundraiser to, of course, raise monies to donate that equipment to the hospital. And I mean, from then to now, so many other initiatives he has embarked on. And it just really speaks to who he is as a person. And I think more than half the reason why we love him.
Javon, it definitely makes my heart smile to just listen to young Jahleel. And I think we've been calling him young Jahleel for quite some time. But we have literally seen him grow up right in front of our eyes. And he just, it is just speechless to me. At 10 years old, you are thinking about how you can help your community be a better place. And I just think it's just commendable. And the fact that he is continuing. He didn't see a need just one time, but he's continuing to give back to our community.
Absolutely.
I think, BB, I think our hands are we're in good hands as it pertains to our young people.
Yes.
Now, as we move on, we see where our police are appealing to the public to discontinue the spread of misinformation through voice notes or another forms of communication as investigations continue into the murder of Everton McMaster. And Javon, I think in the new age that we are living in, we see where we have more quote-unquote WhatsApp reporters. Information can spread so quickly, and I think persons need to be mindful of the information that is being spread, and we have an responsibility to ourselves and to our community to make sure that we are not spreading somewhat wrong
False
news.
information.
Exactly. Now, several voice notes are being circulated within the territory implicating 3 local men as persons responsible for this murder. Now, police believe that as a result of this, these wrongful voice notes, an attempt was made on the life of Cliff Williams in Long Look. That was 2 evenings ago around 6:15 p.m. Now, detectives believe these claims are not only false, but are intended to interfere with and divert attention from the investigation, since there is no evidence to support these reckless accusations. Police are appealing to persons not to take matters into their own hands and to desist from all retaliatory behaviors, as it is hampering efforts to bring justice in this investigation. Now, detectives from the Major Crime Unit are continuing investigations into the murder of Ayrton McMaster, which took place around 3 p.m. on the 6th of November 2020 in Bahamas Bay. Detectives arrested 1 person just yesterday for questioning in relation to that murder. Police are further appealing to anyone who has information pertaining to the murder of Mr. Ayrton McMaster and the attempted murder of now Cliff Williams to contact Detective Inspector Vernon LaRock directly at 368-9809, that is 368-9809, or the Major Crime Investigation Team at 368-5682, that is 368-5682. Now, all information will be treated with the strictest confidence.
It's such an unfortunate situation, Kyla. We do know, like you mentioned, we are in the technological age, but technology has really been deemed as both a blessing and a curse. We are now in the habit of literally pulling out our phones, recording almost everything we see and hear, but like you said, recklessly spreading misinformation, which essentially can tamper clearly with the evidence and the investigation in this situation. And we do want to ensure, especially for situations like this, where Mr. McMaster was murdered gruesomely in the community, we want to ensure that the perpetrators can be brought to justice. And like you said, very responsible. It's very important that we are responsible in what we put out and what we share in the community, of course, in an attempt to not affect that process.
Most definitely.
Viewers, we're going to go to another quick commercial break, but when we come back, more news for you right here on 284 News. Stick with us.
The win! Oh!
Where the hell
I'm freaking out!
Is time.
284 News.
Coming to you live and direct from the beautiful British Virgin Islands.
What's poppin', what's really good, what's happening, what's up?
Davis has won it for the
Viewers, welcome back to 284 News, and I do want to thank you for sticking with us. Now, as we move on and we span across the region, we look over to the Bahamas. Now, the House of Assembly over in the Bahamas voted just last evening to extend the Bahamas public state of emergency to January 31st, 2021. Ahead of the state of emergency's extension, Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis said the government had no intention of implementing any new restrictions, but wanted to have emergency powers in its arsenal of measures to restrict the spread of the coronavirus. He said, and I quote, "The measures we seek to extend today merely allows us to have the legal authority to act in case we need to use certain measures. This does not mean that all of these measures are going to be used at this given time," Minnis stated. He also added, again, I emphasize, we utilize these emergency powers only when necessary. Quite often, a number of emergency measures are not utilized. For example, there are no measures in islands, in certain of the islands in the Bahamas. Now, Minister noted that other countries extended their emergency measures for much longer periods. The Prime Minister is adamant that the COVID-19 restrictions combined with cooperations from the Bahamians have worked and allowed the country to be in a relatively safe position that is in. Now, Javon, I think just looking at the Bahamas, and I think we could also look here in the BVI, I think persons seeing that the Bahamas is extending their state of emergency might be a bit concerned, but we do understand what the Prime Minister is saying, being able to legally take actions if necessary.
Absolutely, and I think, Kyla, when we reflect not only on the Bahamas but across the region, I think ultimately what governments and legislators are doing is ultimately what's best for their specific country. So we are not here to necessarily judge. This is a fluid situation. And legislators have to do what fits their specific environment. So, viewers, before we go, great news coming out of Jamaica. Reggae phenom Koffee as well as dancehall's unruly boss, Mr. Popcaan, will face off in two categories as voting for the 2020 MOBO Awards get underway. Now, he may have taught her a few dance moves in one of her hottest music videos for 2020, which of course was Lockdown. And of course, we all remember Lockdown, possibly one of the hottest tracks we've had for this year. But this time around, viewers, it's not shared last. It is definitely a ding-dong musical battle. Now, Kyla, the Jamaican superstars, we've heard about Koffee, we've heard about Popcaan in so many different instances. We're really continuing to represent on the international scene as it relates to reggae as well. We do see Mr. Buju Banton, of course, back out from being away for such a long time, being nominated for a Reggae Grammy. So we're so looking forward to all of these Grammy Awards. I think the MOBO Awards is based in the United Kingdom, but definitely we see our Caribbean musicians really trailblazing on the international scene.
Most definitely.
All right, viewers, we are about to wrap up. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have, but you can check us out on 284media.com. My name is Javon Wilson.
And I am Kyla Kenesha Forbes. I do want to wish you a happy weekend. We do want you to have fun, but of course, check us out at 284media.com as we keep you updated over the weekend. I do want to thank you and enjoy your weekend.